What's going on, everybody? Thanks so much for stopping by another live episode of Real Estate Titans. I'm your host, Greg Fowler, traveling throughout the marketplace, interviewing the top real estate professionals in our field, from realtors, lenders, builders, developers, residential or commercial, essentially gathering insight, inspiration, really drives and motivates these top producers above and beyond everybody else and what I'd like to consider a real estate titan. Our very special guest and feature time today, Jen Patterson. Jen,
what's up?
Thanks so much for taking the time. It's
Thanks for having me.
An honor to have you. I can't wait to dive in and just share everybody with your story and who you are as a person and professional. I have a lot of fond, memories of us together and things like that, just growing in the business. So I can't wait to just dive in.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited. I thought the day would never come, so this is a big deal, and I'm really excited about it.
It's here, everybody. Get ready, Titan Nation. So, Jen, let's just jump into the first question, I guess. Yep. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a Colorado native. I was born and raised here in Colorado Springs. I'm born in the Air Force Academy, so I haven't moved far in my life. But I, grew up here, love this city, love Colorado. I love everything about Colorado. I am married to my wonderful husband, Brent. Hi, Brent.
Hey, Brent.
He is also a real estate agent. I have 4 beautiful children, Ashton, Aiden, Ainsley, and Adeline. So 15 years old, just got his permit, all the way down to 7 years old, who is our baby that we never knew that we needed. She's the best. And they just keep me really busy, so that's, my biggest thing. And then I got my Great Dane Dutch, my dog, my partner dog, which you may hear in the background at some point. I work at Remax Real Estate Group, and just love what I do. That's my family is my biggest thing. They keep me busy. So.
Okay, and that's true. Anybody that knows Jen, I mean, it's all about family and love and support that way. And just being in here in this environment, I mean, everybody's so amazing, and your dogs are spectacular. And again, just I'll have pictures. I'll have pictures down below. But so Jen, with that background and kind of getting into that for everybody else, what was it about real estate, and what was your career path? Why real estate?
Yeah.
Kind of tell everybody a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. No, I'm kidding.
Wait a minute here.
It's kind of crazy. So I actually started in the medical field, and I really wanted to go pre-med, and I was working at Memorial Hospital in the emergency room for a while. I did that for about 5 years. Shout out to all my Nemo peeps. And while I was put on the wait list to get my nursing degree and go that way. And while I was put on the wait list, I decided I would finish my business degree.
Sure.
And so I went and got an accounting degree. And so I was working accounting. I decided to do that instead of the medical field because I got offered a nice job and it was good money and everything like that, so it was fine. So I did accounting for a while, and accounting got real difficult for me for a couple of reasons. Number one, once I had 4 kids, it was just so hard for me to work 9 to 5, and actually it was longer hours than 9 to 5 many times, and I didn't have flexibility, and I was, they call them bean counters, right? Like, for a reason. That's just not who I am. I'm an outgoing, I like people, and it wasn't where I wanted to be. And so I came home to be a stay-at-home mom, and that lasted about 48 hours.
And so that's a record time, everybody.
I was like, not going to work for me. My husband, Brian, is really the one that was like, hey, I think you should look at doing real estate. My stepmom, Nancy, is a long-time real estate agent here in Colorado Springs. And so I never really thought about that because that was her thing.
Interesting.
But she was like, yeah, I think you should do it. And so I jumped in, and I wish I would have done it, straight out of high school. So here I am with my accounting degree, not using it, right?
Right.
And I love what I do. I mean, I truly love what I do. So
I think that's an interesting perspective for everybody to kind of go through. Is not everybody goes through life knowing that I'm going to be a real estate professional, and there's different ways to get there. And
I never would have said that.
Right. It's crazy, though, but so many people go through, and the success that you've had, Jen, and the longevity into your career, just with your reputation, is phenomenal. Obviously, the passion comes out. I have the utmost level of respect for you, and I know that anybody who's watching this who knows Jen is right then and there. So it just speaks volumes, obviously.
It's kind of cool to finally feel like, oh my gosh, I have this career and this job that I love, and that my family supports, like that's kind of like life, right? Like I feel like, oh, I made it. That's what I know so many people are still trying to figure that out. So it's pretty awesome. So.
I love it. Huge stuff, everybody. Getting a little window and glimpse into Jen. So, Jen, I want to go into the next portion because I think this is really telling to everybody out there. Obviously, for you to why you do what you do, right? And what really passions and come through. So, what motivates you? What gets you excited every day to do what you do to the level you do it at?
Well, obviously my number one why is my family. Like I said, having 4 kids and having, my oldest is a competitive swimmer. We live in Monument. He swims at Colorado College, or the OTC for Colorado Springs Swim Team. Shout out there.
Yeah. Shout out everybody.
Which is on the other side of town. And then my girls are competitive cheerleaders. Ashton is a lacrosse player. And so I am busy.
Right.
And so they are my number one why. At the end of the day, I want to be here for them. And so being able to do something like real estate is nice because I have that flexibility. But also I want them to be able to see, truly that you can do whatever you want. It's, we have our degrees and everything like that, but not necessarily using my accounting degree. And that's okay. Like there are things out there that you can do. And I want my kids to see that we work hard and that we love what we do, because I know a lot of people that don't, and I hate seeing that. So I want my kids to know you can do whatever you want and you can love what you do, but that you have to work hard, and they see us work hard all the time, and just kind of that motivation. So my kids really are my number one why. I never want my kids to be in this box, and I think what Brent and I have done with our careers and our family is we don't have any boxes. We crush those boxes down. So that's really my number one why. And then, I truly just love to help people. And I know that's so cliche and cheesy, but
no, not at all.
I love my clients. Even people that I've never met that have been referred to me, or, the occasional lead that comes in, I make friends, and I love that. So those, being able to help those families get into homes and to come into my city that I was born in and raised in, and to be able to share this with people, I really love that. So yeah, that's my why.
Yeah, and there's so much in there, and I know that's going to resonate with so many people, especially family, and first and foremost. And if you guys aren't feeling this passion, trust me, it's here. It is all about family with you guys, and you and Brent are phenomenal examples into that, and not having those barriers, and truly growing and being the person you want to be. You're wonderful examples for your family into that, and I think that I think so. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, or maybe not. Agree with us in the comments down below. Keep the negativity. But I think that that's a huge example for everybody, not just your family, but everybody who's watching that. That should always come first. But that drags into the next why to me is your clients become your family and your friends as you do.
Absolutely, yeah. We are big with that. I mean, I can't think of a single client that I've worked with that I don't consider friends, family. Keep in touch with them. We try to do events, and it's not just because we need to do another event. We really want to just see and rub shoulders and connect with these people, and they're awesome people out there. And it's so, especially when you come from Colorado Springs, because you can find yourself kind of stuck with the same people.
Sure.
And I can say that because I work at Remax Real Estate Group, where probably like 50% of the people work there went to the same high school as me. Yeah,
it's a big small town.
It is a big small town, but to be able to still continue to meet new people and new families and become friends with just new people constantly, I love that. So
that's big. All right, everybody, you heard it here. It's huge stuff, and I think that's a great window into it. I want to go into the more technical side. This is actually a crowd pleaser for this particular series. The viewers of the show and subscribers, they want to learn from the Titans. Okay. They want to really kind of pick your brain and to understand how you've grown and scaled your business thus far. So, Jen, if you could look back and pick or choose 1 or 2 things that you might have added to your business that took it from one level to the next, what's that look like for you?
Yeah, so hands down, the number one thing is find people that you know and love and trust. And sometimes it's people that aren't in the industry. Sure. I have an amazing group of best friends, my tribe. This is my tribe.
Nice.
But you need that to be able to vent and when you've had crappy days, or they're the people like when I find out, hey, you did really good this month and you're on the top 25 or whatever, like those are the people I send that to. I don't want to shout that out there to everybody, but those are my friends.
Right.
That you share the good, the bad, and the ugly with. But then another layer on top of that is just finding people in the industry. When you first start in real estate, if you're new, if you're a year, 2 years in, it's rough. And there's a lot of, I always tell people it's funny because you get your real estate license and then you have to learn how to become a real estate agent.
So true. It's so true.
That test, none of that, you don't really use that, know? And so then you have to learn what you're doing. And that is really where, some people say fake it till you make it. And I'm like, no, don't fake it till you make it. Find people who know what they're doing already and do what they're doing. And so
huge advice. That was
huge for me. So, like I said, my stepmom, Nancy Weil, I never worked on a team with her, worked with her together because we decided that's probably not best for our family.
Sure, hey.
But that was mutual. But man, I still call her constantly. You were huge, and the title companies that you work with, the team that I'm with right now, the Vail team at Remax Real Estate Group are just awesome agents. And it's a lot of them have been doing this for a lot longer than me. And still to this day, I call them like, hey, what do you do when this happens? And I could not imagine being where I am today without having just a whole, pages of people that I can call. I just had a meeting the other day with one of my friends because I was kind of like, hey man, I need to pick your brain about this because I'm kind of at this point and I don't really know, what's doing. And we had lunch and shared, and it's just, a lot of people think that real estate agents compete against each other, and I'm sure there are some that way, that are that way. This is a big city, that's not true. And I think having kind of your group of people that are in the industry just to help you, that is huge. And so if you're getting into real estate and you don't know a lot of people, you need to go meet them and find them and put them in your toolbox and use them. People like to help,
Well said.
So that was absolutely my number one thing.
Yeah, I love that. And for everybody out there, that's huge advice. Is we are guilty by association. We're a product of our environment. And I love the fact that you're surrounding yourself internally, obviously with family and close friends, but then colleagues, being a part of a right group. It's not always easy for everybody to reach out or to find that right office, and people do have movement and changes. I appreciate that shout out. That way, Jen, I really do, because I think that you should always get different perspectives from different people and try to become the best version of yourself by picking others' brains. And as you stated, and hopefully everybody picked this up as well, really successful people, they want to help you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, they feel flattered, it makes them feel good about themselves. So, but yeah, like what you said too, if you're not in the right place, then move. That's one thing that you can do in this industry is you're interviewing them. They're not interviewing you. And so you find your place where it works. And I did. I moved, Remax Real Estate Group is my third office, and I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. I love it, but it wasn't easy to find it, and so I had to go through, and they were all great experiences. And I have people still from both of the other offices that I work with that I'm still close with, but you have to find your place, and that's okay. And it takes some time to do that, so.
That's big. Write that down, rewind it, pause it, do whatever you need to do. Find your tribe, find your people.
That's right.
Beautiful words. So Jen, I want to shift gears. This particular question is the tricky part of this interview, and it ends up being the challenge question. So I lead into it this way with everybody. We all have challenges, struggles, whether it's personally or professionally, that we go through in our life. And no matter how bad things are, at the end of the day, I think it's what we learn and what we can grow from and share that truly matters, not to downplay pain or struggle. But if you're comfortable sharing a personal or professional challenge that you dealt with everybody that you overcame, what's that look like?
I think challenges, they're hard. Everybody has challenges. And I mean, I could share some stories that you wouldn't believe. But everybody has that, right? Sure. And so I think the biggest thing is just kind of learning from your challenges and moving forward and not dwelling on them and leaving them in the past where they belong and looking forward. And so I kind of hated this question because
sorry.
I don't like going back to that. You know, this is here and now, and that stuff doesn't matter anymore, right? There's nothing you can do about it. It's over. But you know, one of the things that I think I struggle with, and I see a lot of people in this industry struggling with, is just time management. And I still struggle with that daily. Like I've already, you know, beaten it down that we're busy.
Sure.
But it's hard to help people understand that my family's first and always will be first. And how do you kind of work your business into the nooks and crannies of your day, and then also make your clients a priority, but when it works, you know? And I came into this thinking that you only work real estate evenings and weekends, which means I'm never going to see my kids and family, and that's not true at all. I very rarely work nights and weekends. I mean, but it's still hard. It's hard sometimes just to kind of work that out, and especially with my husband being in real estate too, because we'll get up in the morning and it's kind of like, we call it shift change, right? Like, oh, hey, how are you doing? I haven't seen you in 5 days. And then, you know, he's like, well, I've got this today. And I'm like, well, I have this today. So who's getting the kids? And then we have to just kind of, it's just hard. It's real busy and it's really hard. And so that's, and making family a priority too, you know, that's a challenge, man. And I wish that I knew the perfect answer to that, but it really just takes communication, you know. And when Brent and I communicate well, we're like, oh man, we're a machine, man. We are power duo. Watch out, we're a force to be reckoned with, right? But then we have these off times, and then it's like, we're sinking, you know. And so that's a hard challenge, and
for sure,
you know, for me, it's really just about communicating, you know, and I think that's really been hard for me. You know, other than that, I think it's just kind of figuring out how you want to do it. One thing that I struggle with a lot is I'm really, really competitive. Okay. And
good news, bad news.
It is. It works good for this industry, but like, you know, we have our monthly sales rally, and man, if my name isn't on that board, I am pissed. Right? And Brent laughs because Brent isn't that way at all. And he'll just, you know, he knows that, and not that I need to be the first or number one, but it just fuels my fire, right? It gets me going. But I also have to step back sometimes and be like, man, I can't be number one. I can't. Some of these people are crazy. Sure. You know, the volumes and stuff that they do, I have kudos to them because they're amazing, but I got other stuff. I have these kids and I have this, and I have to put myself in check and be like, no, like you can't compare yourself to that person, and you can't be that good and have that much volume if you also want to still be a mom and be present in your family and stuff. And so it's this like battle, you know, between good and evil in my head, and it's hard because you just go back and forth. And so just really writing down your goals and knowing exactly what your focus is and what you want to do, I think that's huge, but that's hard.
I mean, those ads to share into this, I think, are fantastic. And there's so many people that are literally nodding their head, and whether you're listening or watching this, and saying, yeah, first of all, time management. I don't know if anybody has time management down to a T. Yeah. It's life. And as you stated, there's so much going on in your world with your family and career and all these different moving pieces, and so many people can get that. So everybody's working on it. Let me know if anybody actually has that down. Please share the secret sauce, because I don't know what that is. Right. But I think that's an honest truth, and you do the best you can. You have a great partnership and a team, you and Brent. I mean, you guys are amazing, amazing. Now, when you go to the second portion into that, as far as the competitive nature, there's so many people that are watching this that are high-driven, high-profile, really, really looking at that in a positive, competitive nature. But we should all look at ourselves. I mean, you have your balance in life, and you have your goals and time frame, and everybody else is different. And somebody who's hitting those high notes, there's sacrifice to everything. Right.
And that's fine if that's what you want. But you just have to kind of recheck in and reevaluate with yourselves. And, you know, just one word that you hear a ton of in real estate, and this has always driven me crazy, and this is, going off of what we just said, is everyone's like time blocking. Right. Okay, when you're a mom of 4, there's no such thing as time blocking. And I've had arguments with so many people about this.
Oh, yeah.
The minute and it's like every time I try to time block, like on Monday mornings, this is what I'm doing, then I have a sick kid. And now I'm picking so-and-so, and it's just like, and I'm the type of person where it's like, if you're time blocking for a week and on Tuesday it's not working, then I'm like, screw it. It's over. I can't do it. And you get so frustrated. And so I've just had to realize that time blocking works different for other people. And so if there's anybody out there that struggles with that, it doesn't mean every Monday you have to time block at this certain time. You just have to make sure you have time set out every week to do the things that you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't always have to be the same time. And sometimes you might get interrupted in the middle of it, but then you have to go back and finish it. And being kind of an OCD person, that was hard for me to figure out. And I still haven't figured it out yet. I'm still working on that. So, because as soon as you figure it out, then it's like summer vacation or Christmas, and you're like, oh my gosh.
When is this gonna stop? When's the madness gonna stop?
Seriously. So
It's something that, and we'll get off this topic, but I love the vein that you're going down here, because I know that this is gonna hit so many people hard. What popped into my head, and I don't want to be too haiku-y, but it reminds me of that adage of a tree.
Yeah.
And trees have been around forever and forever and forever, and they're not rock solid. When the wind blows, trees bend and move, and we have to bend and move with life. You can't just be, this is it, and this is what I do at this time and this day.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Everything is constant change. And so I think that you said that beautifully out to everybody. It's like, look, all right, get used to it, do the best you can.
That's hard. It's hard to do, though. It's so hard. It's frustrating. So
Episode 2.0. Maybe we'll have something else into that. No, Jen, thank you so much for sharing. It's not easy to do that for everybody. I want to go softer on this next question. So this one is actually one of my faves. It ends up being the travel back in time question. So positive or negative in any way, form, or fashion, if you had a time machine and you could travel back and give your younger self a piece of advice or two, it could be personal, professional, funny, what would you say to younger Jen?
Oh man, if anybody, there's people out there watching that know younger Jen.
All right.
There's a whole lot of things that I could tell younger Jen. I think the biggest thing is you just gotta be yourself. You know, it kind of goes back into that fitting into boxes, and I feel like when you're growing up, you spend so much time just trying to please everybody and do the right thing and, you know, get married and have kids and, you know, and that's all fine, but you just got to figure out who you are and be you. And I think I struggled with that a lot, especially, you know, in college. And, man, I just think about my kids, and I don't want my kids to have to struggle through that. I want them to know who they are and what they stand for, and to be proud of that no matter what it is. And just know that whoever you are out there, you're an awesome freaking person. Like, you are who you are made to be, and you just need to be that person and not try to be something else. And I don't know, that's kind of cheesy, but
not to me. I think it's amazing. I know there's somebody out there that literally their heart just went, because that's so true. And you know, as a high producer, a professional, a very driven person, and a lot of people who are consuming this content, they want to try to constantly achieve and grow and scale and really prove themselves, but it's okay to be you.
Yeah.
Not comparing yourself to others, as we discussed earlier, and being comfortable in your own skin, not to try to be everything to everyone at every time. It's impossible.
Well, and it's easy to get wrapped up in that in this time and age with, you know, Facebook and YouTube and social media, and you know what? It is not always rainbows and butterflies.
Not at all.
It's usually not, and that's okay. And I try to be, you know, really transparent of that. A lot of my friends always say, Jen's the person that says out loud what we're all thinking inside our head, you know?
Which I love, by the way, Jen.
Just,
I think it's
you know
awesome.
what? It is. Sometimes it's crap, and you just have to put that crap out there and learn from it. You can take the crap and sit there and sit in it and play in it if you want, but I'd rather just learn and move forward and use those things as your experience. And when you see how, you know, just all this rainbows and butterflies and happiness and pots of gold and all of this on Facebook, you're like, man, I don't buy that.
Where do these people live?
And I really try not to do that. You know, you just gotta be real. Yeah.
Well said. I think that's a big take and a note away from everybody else. And there's a ton of memes and things that are posted up on there, but very few people actually post the reality. It's just the best of the best of the best. And people get discouraged about that and say, oh, they're having fun, they're traveling, they're doing this. Look, everybody has issues, everybody has struggles, everybody has problems. Be real, share that, because you sharing that with others lets people know that it's okay, because I'm dealing with it too.
Usually they like that better than that.
They really do, because it's like, oh yeah, okay, what's really going on?
Right.
You know, it's so, but that's a beautiful ad and huge advice, not just for young Jen, but everybody else, myself included. I think that's really, really great.
Young Jen needed to hear that, though.
That's it's there. Jen, if we had that time machine, yes. So let's go into the next portion. This is actually number 2 as far as crowd pleasers concerned in this series, because they want to know what the Titans are doing to feed their minds, really how you guys are growing and that sort of thing intellectually. So books you're reading or read, podcasts, influencers, how are you feeding your mind, Jen?
Okay, so first of all, a lot of gangster rap.
Okay, which is huge. So would that be like Biggie Tupac sort of thing?
Biggie all the way. You need some Biggie Smalls.
Yes.
And I'm not actually kidding. Like I get pumped up sometimes when I'm on my way to like meet a new client or whatever. You just gotta get ghetto. Yeah. Little Ice Cube, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I really do that. It's silly, but I do. It just gets you pumped up. Music is a big thing for me. The number 1 book that I have ever read, and I've read a lot of self-help books, and I realized that sometimes you have to quit reading self-help books and just get like a good fiction book because the kids kind of old and redundant. But I've read it, I don't even know how many times, but it's You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero.
Oh, that's great.
It is my favorite book. And then she also wrote You Are a Badass at Making Money. And that one was just as awesome too. And I think a lot of these self-help books and real estate books, they're all kind of saying the same thing. So you just have to find the one that speaks your language. So that one, to me, just the way it's written, it's just so like dirty and nitty gritty, and there are cuss words, and I'm like, yeah, man, I feel like it's like a friend just talking to me, like, come on, Jen, get out, And so I love that book. If you haven't read it, and that's something that you think would speak to you, run out and get it. It's really awesome. It's on podcast too, and then a lot of times I try to listen to podcasts either while I'm running or working out, although I go a little faster if I'm listening to my gangster rap.
That's right. I'm the same way. I mean, that's just the truth.
But also, I spend a ton of time in my car, and so sometimes it's nice to just put on a podcast and just be fed while you're sitting in the carpool line or driving back and forth or from appointment to appointment. I drove to Denver a lot, and put on some good podcasts. Whether it's there's real estate ones, there's any of the self-help book authors have them. Just listen to something that's feeding your mind. One thing that I talked to my husband about is he used to listen to the news a lot, and I'm like, no,
interesting.
It's so depressing.
It really is.
And you just, not that you don't want to be naive and not know what's happening, but you got to turn it off. You got to turn that off, and you've got to listen to things that are feeding you and uplifting you. So that that's really it. The only one that I have a shout out for is just that You're a Badass by Jen Sincero. Okay. Go get it.
Love it. You heard it here. And Jen, I think that's a really, really great thing going all the way through, because you're picking and choosing a diverse line. You have the motivational, inspirational, there's the industry standards, but then you have times where I love the fact that you mentioned gangster rap. I mean, whatever fires you up. I mean, whatever gets you going, whatever the juices, the blood pumping. I think that's what you really need to find and figure out through the motivation, self-help, and industry standard, but then also just to relax, just to disconnect. It can't just all be work, business. You got to relax from time to time and really...
And go out there, make appointments. Like I said, you surround yourself with those people. Get a lunch group together where once a month you're meeting with other agents or title reps or lenders, or just go out and we used to go do that all the time. We would go have drinks.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And you talk about your life, but then you talk about the industry and what's going on. Like, you got to surround yourself with other people. So that's important too.
Yeah, love it. So masterminds, having those conversations, that's a beautiful way to feed your mind. And everybody, I'm going to have links in the comments down below so you can feed your mind the same way that Jen's doing or has done. Hopefully, if you try, you got to keep going it. But that was great. And Jen, this has been just full of so much warmth. And, really, really just amazing knowledge and background to you and your family, your business, and just so many takeaways for business entrepreneurs, real estate professionals. I want to finish this up with a final question.
Yes.
And this ends up being the quote or mantra that you live by that sums you up as a professional, as a person. What's that look like for Jen Patterson?
So, a wise man, my godfather, Eddie Wishers, he was the boxing coach up at the Air Force Academy, just retired a few years ago, and really my second dad. He has a mantra, it's written on the wall in the boxing room up there.
Cool.
I have shirts with it. It's kind of just been embedded in me for as long as I can remember. And that is tough times don't last, tough people do. And so that's kind of, what I was talking about, man. Everybody's got their challenges. You got to pick up and learn from them and be a tough person and move forward. So.
I love that, and it's so true, and it's such a beautiful statement, and we're being surrounded by the family outside, the furry family. So if you guys hear that barking, it's part of the family. This is all
squirrels.
Great, but Jen, I mean, that sums you up beautifully, and again, just who you are and your professionalism and your expertise, and it's just been an honor to have you on. Hopefully everybody appreciates this, but Jen, you are an official Real Estate Titan.
It was so fun.
Yes, this is awesome. So everybody, thanks again for your time and attention. As always, your love and support. We are live every Tuesday and Friday afternoon. If you like what we're doing here at Real Estate Titans, please don't forget to like the Facebook page, subscribe to your YouTube channel, and have a listen on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcast. Everybody have a great holiday weekend, and we'll catch you on the next live episode of Real Estate Titans.
Bye.
Take care. And we are almost